Hey guys, welcome to the KickBack FC. Thank you for joining us once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the KickBack FC. My name is Salam, and I'm joined with my boys and fellow co-hosts. Let's start with the champion, man. The champion of AFCON. Poppy, how you feeling, bro?
Feeling great, feeling amazing. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Mike, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. So a crazy final today, and I'm happy for you, Poppy. You guys got the job done. How
Thank
about
you,
you,
man.
Salah? How you
Appreciate
feeling?
it.
No, I agree, man. I'm feeling good. A great final today. Poppy, congrats again. We had a fun weekend at the U.S. Coaches Convention in Philadelphia.
I saw that.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. We have a lot of things to share. Definitely another step for us as a podcast. And yeah, man, definitely very motivational. We met a lot of good people and thankful for the experience. But today we have a lot coming at you guys. Obviously, we want to start with the AFCON final. Senegal has beaten the host nation, Morocco, in the AFCON final. Score of 1-0. The goal came in overtime. Very controversial second half, I would say, before we even get to the overtime. But, I mean, I want to start with you, Poppy. Going into this tournament, I said Senegal was, from top to bottom, the best team. I was actually surprised with how the final went, considering you guys lost Koulibaly last game. You know, he's a big part of your guys' team in that back line. And then I think you guys lost someone in pregame in the warm-up as well, too.
Yeah, we lost a lot of players. Yeah.
So, yeah, in spite of all that, you guys were able to get the job done. I saw a crazy stat seeing that I think Senegal in the past, few finals you guys have been in, you haven't even scored a goal like in the 90 minutes. You know, that stat held true. But yeah, man, what were your thoughts on the game, man? What were your thoughts on the game, man? It's a very controversial second half, but I'm curious to see your thoughts on that.
Yeah, man, crazy game. I mean, like a roller coaster of emotions from start to finish. First, like you said, we walked into this game without two big starters, being Koulibaly, our captain, and Habib Diarra, who was also, not going to play today due to yellow cards that they got from the last game. By the way, I think that's a stupid rule. I think it needs to be changed because in other competitions, when you get to the semifinals, everything is reset. But in AFCON, if you get a yellow card, you don't play the final. That's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, so that's two starters that we're missing today. And then like 5-10 minutes before the game, Krempe Diata also was forfeit due to illness, last minute illness, and he also was a starter. He actually, other than Sadio Mane, he was our best player during this whole AFCON. All the games were amazing by him. So we walked into the final without three key starters, against Morocco. Obviously, that was a bit concerning, but the coach Pap Thiaw has always said that he has 23 starters in this team, meaning like everybody can start because the talent is there. And we showed it today. We proved it today. It was next man up. We had players that never played during the whole competition that stepped up and they played well. First half, it was slightly dominated by Senegal. We had the clearer chances. We had the ball more. I think it was 52-48 on possession. And then second half, Morocco came back stronger. They were dominating most of the time in the second half. From the 45th to the 80th minute. And then, like you said, the controversy started to happen. Senegal scored a goal on a corner, and the goal was disallowed because the referee called for a foul on a Moroccan defender, and that was, to me, that was no foul because contact happens like on aerial balls like that. So like it was just two players fighting for the ball.
Soft.
You
Just
know,
say it was too soft.
it was
It
so
was the
soft, man.
softest call ever. Come on.
Two players fighting for the ball, and yeah. So at that point, it's been brewing before the final that Morocco has been getting favors from the refs. We've talked about it here. In all their games, whether it's against Nigeria, against Tanzania, and against I don't remember what other team they played. In all their games, they had the other team had penalties that weren't called. Every time there was some controversy, so everybody was like talking about it. And then when that happened, it started feeling the same, for the Senegalese staff. And then a couple minutes later, um, there's contact in the Senegalese box, and the referee doesn't call for anything because he deems that nothing happens. But then Brahim Diaz gets on his face and starts yelling at him and confronting him and forcing him to go check the VAR. And then the ref succumbs to the pressure, which is crazy. Goes checks the VAR, and then he calls for a penalty for Morocco, and that was like the last minute of the game. At that point, some of the players lost it. The Senegalese coach lost it. He called the players off the pitch, told them, "Let's just go home. Let's just give him a trophy. Let's not do this." And I don't condone that. I don't think that's something that he should have done because at the end of the day, it's football. You just don't get off the pitch. You don't walk off the pitch just because you feel like things are not going your way. If everybody was doing that, the sport wouldn't be well. But I can understand the frustration. It's the final. It was a big game, and it was the last minute, and it was right after a goal that was disallowed. So I can understand. Like, I don't know if I was in his shoes, how I would have reacted. So it's understandable. But Sadio Mane, as the leader he is, called the players back on the pitch, and then it was a long wait. 20, about like there was like 20 minutes of. I didn't count, but it was long, man. It was a long time before.
Knew it was going to
It
be
was
crazy
a long time.
when it was
Yeah,
like
and
10 minutes
it's
gone
crazy
and the
because
PK hasn't been taken.
yeah, it's crazy because like, what would we have said if the AFCON was over and we didn't see something we've never seen before? Like, it's AFCON, man. It's been too normal. It's been too normal. Like, I knew we were gonna see something that we've never seen before. And I've watched football my whole life. I have never seen a team walk off the pitch and threaten to not play before the game ends. I've never seen it in my life. It was the first time I've ever seen it.
I'll show you in the final.
Yeah, in the final too, yo. But yeah, they came back, and then I think there was a Moroccan player who wanted to take the penalty. Then Brahim Diaz went and took the ball from him, and there was a long wait. I guess I don't know if he was stressed or not. I still don't comprehend why he did what he did. He tried a Panenka, but it was so weak. I don't even know if that deserved to be called a Panenka.
Aguero moment.
I don't even. Hey man, Madrid players with their egos, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else can I describe it. Like, to me, I don't know this. Like, it's two things. Like, either no matter where you shoot it, just shoot it right. And even if you're gonna shoot it as a Panenka, do it right. I don't know what went through his mind, but yeah, he tried it and it didn't work. Mendy saved the ball. At that point, at that very moment, it was over to me. At that very moment, I thought mentally the Moroccan players were dead. And you could feel it. The fans weren't cheering anymore. On the bench, the coaching staff was stressed. You could tell because at that point, it's like that was your chance to kill the game, and you don't do it. Brahim Diaz, right after that, you see him on his face. Like, I think the coach was yelling at him. I don't know what was being said though, but maybe he was mad that he tried a Panenka. I don't know, but I saw the coach yell at him, and then he subbed him off like a couple minutes after that. But yeah, we went to overtime, extra time, and then like 5 minutes into it, Pop Gay, man, our best midfielder. I've been saying this for a year now.
Yeah.
This kid is a baller, man. I've been saying it for a year now. He's our best option in the midfield. No disrespect to Ghana Gay. He's the OG. He's been here for a while, but Pop Gay is different, man. And once again today he showed it against Sudan. I think he did the same thing when Sudan went 1-0 against Senegal, and we needed somebody. He stepped up. He scored 2 goals. Today same thing. He crazy shot went right in. And yeah, as if the Moroccans weren't defeated enough mentally after that goal, it was a wrap, man. It was a wrap. And they had a player injured, and they didn't have no subs, so they were playing with 10 men. The game was over. There was no way they were going to score. It was done. And so yeah, Senegal could have scored a couple more goals. We missed a couple of chances, but we handled it right. And in the end, Senegal won the final. And yeah, we now have, I got 1 star here, but we now have 2 stars. And yeah, 2 times African champions, man. Crazy game.
You still got 2 more to catch up to Ghana,
Hey, no problem. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Y'all gotta come back though. We miss y'all in this AFCON.
I know, man. What a great tournament, though. Crazy final, crazy final. Just as Poppy laid out. Shout out to the Moroccans, but it's AFCON, man. When you host it, you don't get the pleasure of actually winning the trophy unless you're Ivory Coast. So we appreciate the hospitality. We appreciate how you've raised the level of this tournament, but. Like Poppy said, there had to be something crazy we've never seen. The last one we saw at ref was stop the game. After 82nd or something minute like that.
Nothing like AFCON, man.
Bro, this one we saw a final where, a PK was given and it was taking 30 minutes or damn near close to 30 minutes after it was given. But yeah, man, great tournament overall. I think the best team won. This was the final we all wanted. We wanted to see Morocco and Senegal because they're clearly the 2 best teams. I think they were saying that Morocco hasn't lost like a competitive game in almost 2 years or something like that. So yeah, this is big for Senegal, man. We got to see a lot of young talent on that Senegalese teams that I think are going to be players to watch in the near future. But yeah, the Lamine kid had a great first half. He held himself very well, played really well actually.
He wasn't even supposed to start.
Yeah, and the center back, what's his name? Sard, that plays at Strasbourg.
Yeah,
man, those 2 guys at the back. The level of composure and just maturity in how they were defending today, I have to admit, man, I'm impressed with this team, man.
I wanna talk about him a little bit because we of course last episode it was before the game against Egypt. So the game against Egypt in the semifinal happened in between. We didn't talk about that, but Koulibaly when he got injured first half, he went out. Sar came in and boy, he was the calmness, the like it's like bro been waiting for this his whole life. Like he was so into it. I was shocked because I expected him to be nervous, but he came and he was a dog, man. And shout out to him because his dad was an international. He played for Senegal as well. He was part of the 2002 team that went to the World Cup, His dad was a player for Senegal, and he was a good player. But yeah, the most important thing that you mentioned, Mike, is what you said. The best team won. That like now we know Senegal is the best African team because these 2 teams were the best teams. We couldn't really tell which one was the best for real because they never played each other. But each team was doing their thing, like on the side for the last 5 years. And what best scenario than having them both meet each other in a final? And for Senegal to beat them at home, despite losing 3 key players, I think it's crystal clear that Senegal has the best African team in football. And yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
No, I mean, well said, guys. I think it's been a really fun tournament. I mean, you can call it recency bias, but I really think that this was the best AFCON I've seen in a while. I think all the games were entertaining. I think that obviously we had our assumptions on who we thought were the favorites, but I mean, most of the top teams all played well. I mean, we talked about last episode, the semifinal were 4 nations that we more or less assumed, would reach the stage. But yeah, I'm happy that the game ended the way it did, just because I didn't like the call. I personally did not like the call for Morocco, and I felt like I don't know what got into Brahim Diaz and football, man. Sometimes it's bittersweet, man, because I just felt like this tournament really allowed you to really see a lot of players flourish. And yes, we all knew Brahim Diaz was a really good player, but him specifically, I was happy he picked the Moroccan, citizenship, the decision to play.
Me too.
And he played well, and he ended up winning Golden Boot as well too.
Yeah.
But man, that penalty was one of the worst penalties I've seen. Like it was bad.
What went through his head, bro? I still don't.
Yeah, Mike. No, I agree. Mike mentioned the Sergio Aguero moment. I don't know, bro. I think that tops that. Like at that point, you have to just whip that into one of the corners. Like you can't.
Exactly. Like you weren't even think about it twice.
Yeah, you weren't even. I don't know, but like you said, bro. I mean, there's a lot of players. I mean, the was it Papi Gay today? I mean, I felt like he really made a name for himself. I think the youngster for you guys that plays at PSG, even though he didn't really
Ibrahim Bay,
even though he didn't really get the play as much, I feel like he'll play probably a little bit more in the World Cup. But
his time will come,
yeah, more or less, man. I think a lot of guys really made a name for themselves, but I more or less was happy because I don't know, man. I don't really like the integrity of African soccer being in question, and I felt like today justice was definitely served.
Yeah,
but congrats.
Look at it.
I don't know. We gotta talk about that.
But
we gotta talk about that at some point, man. Like we can't keep having like referee issues every game in Africa, man. Like at some point, seriously, like at some point, like I have a friend. We were talking about it, and he was like, maybe we should have like refs from other continents come ref the games for us in Africa. And I'm like, that would be ugly, but that would be really ugly to see. But at some point, like, is he wrong though? Like, bro, like every game, every AFCON, like, come on, man. We should really be past this, man.
And I mean, Morocco has been like this tournament too. Like they've been, I don't know, some of the decisions have gone their way damn near. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it be a penalty or a no call. And it's just like,
and the problem with that, Salam, is that they don't need it. They have the team to actually win fair and square. That's the problem. Like they don't need that, That's what makes people more frustrated, because we know they have the talent. They don't need that. They can beat anybody. It's Morocco, But the thing is, like, I don't know, man. Like, we can't keep having these conversations like every AFCON. Like you said, I agree with you. It was the best AFCON we've seen not in terms of entertainment or whatever or madness, but in terms of quality of play, quality of football. It was the best football we've seen in an AFCON ever, in my opinion. And so the quality of football is there. Like the quality of players is there. Now all that needs to be fixed is the refereeing. It should be more fair and more clean, man. That's the only thing, and it's been going on for a while now. I think that's like right now that's the major challenge for African football, in my opinion. It's not just in like competitions like the AFCON, but even in the African Champions League, in the clubs, it happens a lot too. So that's something that definitely needs to be studied, in my opinion.
I agree. Well said, man. Moving along, I did want to talk about Spurs before we got into our teams. Thomas Frank was one of the big appointments, I would say, at the beginning of the season. And to his credit, he had a great start. Everything looked good. But lately they've hit a little bit of a rut. They just lost to a West Ham team that, so far, they're in a relegation battle, right? Or they're at least trying to escape relegation. And obviously, like, his, position as manager is being in question. Where do you think Tottenham is as a team right now? Because, like, I'm not even, and I'm not saying this because we just beat City, but the race for top four is pretty tight. I'm saying 4 and the 5th.
It is.
And I don't even really, like, I'm not threatened by Spurs at all. Like, what do you guys think of Spurs so far?
I think Spurs are being Spurs. I mean, it's they're you never know with Spurs. I think they're it's like, one day they're doing well and the next. But I agree with you. As if I was a Man U fan, I wouldn't feel threatened about Spurs because, like we know what's gonna happen with them. Usually, it's going to be fighting for a place in Europe, maybe Conference League or something like that. But at the same time, they did lose a couple of players to the AFCON. Most of them are back. I think Matar Sarr is going to be back now that the AFCON is over, so maybe they'll get better. Just like all the clubs that got their African players back. But I think it's a new day for Man U. I don't think Spurs should be a threat in my opinion. But we're gonna get to Man U later. I know you can't wait to talk about that. Yeah. But with Spurs, I think it's nothing surprising, man. I expect less from them. Like, I don't expect them to do anything that surprises me. The way I see it is going to be the same as usual. They're gonna be good, but not good enough. So yeah.
I just think this is a team that injuries haven't helped. I also think that they've made some questionable signings. They've brought some people in that I didn't think they needed. But yeah, you're just seeing a product of a team that haven't really gotten to, really build an identity, right? They've brought in a lot of guys, and each time it feels like, this team is getting to put something together. I don't know, some injury bug hits this team, and then a bunch of people are out. And I think they just haven't been able to actually build any chemistry. Some of these guys that are playing, I'm just like, I don't even know this guy plays for this team. Like, it's just a bunch of hodgepodge of players from different managers from recent times, and I just don't think they've built that, camaraderie, that chemistry. Yeah, at the beginning of the season, it seemed like everything was working because I thought they had a decent number of guys that are good enough to get wins together. They had a decently, full team, quote unquote, but the injuries have been, I think, it hasn't helped them. But then also, I just think they don't have a plan. They bring guys in as they feel like, oh, this guy's available, we should bring him on, maybe he will help. I feel like that's how it's been, really. Because if you look at somebody like Matisse Tell, when they brought him in, did they really need him? And what has he done? Nothing. And then they got rid of Brendan Johnson, which, I can understand because it's not like he's been, this great player for them.
But, I can't. I never understood that move.
But that as well, I'm just like, I don't understand the idea behind that. Yeah. Okay. And then you bring in Conor Gallagher. I don't understand. What is Conor Gallagher going to do for you that Paulinho is not already doing? Pop Matasar is not there right now. Betancourt. I mean, you have some guys on the team that you're just like, I don't know. Like, they're not doing anything. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think with Spurs, this is just another example of how the manager is just going to have to, I guess take the responsibility of just their poor form. But I actually don't think that it has anything to do with Thomas Frank. I think that
I don't either.
I think he's a good manager. I mean,
I agree.
the center back Romero came out after the game and was like, the person that needs to be, here and answering the questions won't come down here and answer the questions. So obviously there's some sort of disconnect between player and management, upper management or management, whatever the case may be. But clearly there's a disconnect there. And I mean, I don't know. Spurs owners get a lot of slack for, I don't know, not being ambitious. It's hard to say you can't not being ambitious. I mean, they bought players. But I don't know. Some of the guys that they've brought in, most of the guys that they've brought in, it's hard to say if they really hit on them or not. And I like some of these guys too, but Kolo Muani, Xavi Simons, you mentioned Mateus Tell. I don't know what Conor Gallagher is going to do, but I don't know. Unfortunately, it's probably going to come at the expense of Thomas Frank's job. But moving on, man. Let's talk Manchester Derby.
First game of the day.
Yeah, man. Game of the week. Game of the year.
Game of
Game of the year. Could this be the turning point?
Really good game, honestly.
Really good game. Really good game. You know, the funny thing is sometimes the biggest compliment you can get is when rival fans are saying, "Wow."
I got more for you. Don't worry. I got more for you.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'll say my piece.
No, honestly, it was right before the Nigeria and Egypt third place game. So I was like, it's Saturday morning. Let me watch the game, right? I don't always watch Manchester United games. I don't always watch Manchester City games. But it's a Manchester Derby. I told myself, let me watch it. And no lie, I have not seen Manchester United play this well for at least 10 years. This was the best game I've seen them play in the last 10 years. Like, no cap. I don't recall the last time. It might be 2012. The last time I've seen them play a game so perfect. Honestly. From start to finish. Like, I was watching the game and I was like, hold on, bro. Like, is this the same Manchester United team? Like, there's no way, bro. Like, first half, total domination. And then obviously it helps a lot to have these African players back, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Doesn't it? Amad Diallo came back, and Mbeumo came back, and the team looked different. Diallo is a really good player, man. He played so good, and he created so many chances. But yeah, I have not seen Manchester United play this well in years, and it looked almost embarrassing for Man City to be dominated like that, to be walked on like that. And it's carried ball, man. I guess that's the new thing now, right? It's carried ball, because it was like Guardiola was suffering against himself. It was like he was being outcoached in every aspect of the game. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. If they can play like this every week, come on, man. Y'all got your team. If they can do this every week, it's amazing. But yeah, as a Liverpool fan, I'll say that was the best Manchester United I've seen in many years, and I was actually happy. No lie, I was actually happy to see them play that way, and I was actually rooting for them. That might sound crazy, but yeah, I was actually rooting for them, because I'm a fan of football first. When I see beautiful football being played, like, I just can't help it. So, that was really nice, man.
Yeah. Mike, what'd you think?
Nah, real talk, man. I just couldn't help myself but look back and think to myself that, why was I playing devil's advocate for Amorim? Because Carrick made it look so simple. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that complicated, Sometimes it just doesn't have to be. I looked at the lineup and I was like, wow. My only thing at the lineup, I was like, wow, Dorgu at winger? Let's see what this looks like. I mean, we know Delo's gonna Delo, but the overall lineup, I was like, it's interesting in Bomo up top. I just didn't think I didn't look at the lineup and think, oh, I'm not sure about this. I was like, okay, let's see. And my goodness, the product, it just looked good. You guys were fluid. You guys were moving. Everybody were playing like they actually wanted to play. And my goodness, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, when he plays like this, you can't tell me he's not a world-class player. Like, this is the Bruno Fernandes that, like, when
that we knew.
He first got to Manchester United. This is what I felt like he looked like. Like, that decision to not lay the pass to Ahmad and give it to Mbeumo, bro, that is IQ right there.
Yeah.
Because if he would have given it to Ahmad will have to take it, cut back, and maybe take a shot. But it was right in stride for Mbeumo. But, watching the game, I was like, oh, give it to Ahmad, give it to Ahmad, give it to Ahmad. And
exactly. If you're watching, you would think yourself that too. But then you think about how Ahmad is a left-footed player, and if he, absolutely right.
Great game, man, bro.
Not to cut you off though, Mike, but you said, that the players look like they finally wanted to play. So is it really Amorim, or is it that the players just were waiting for someone new to come along?
Maybe
the players were like,
your players will play for you if you put them in the right position. It's literally that simple. That's why I'm saying Carrick made it look so simple. He just put in the guys that he feels like he's going to get the most out of. And it just seemed to work. It just seemed to work.
That's for sure.
No, I agree with everything you guys said. Like you, Mike, when I first saw the lineup, I was like, oh, man, especially the back line. I mean, Luke Shaw was in there. Delo was in there. Harry Maguire all of a sudden came back. I mean, he was coming back from an injury, but to throw him in a game like this was a great decision between him and Lissandro. And I'll get to Lissandro here in a second. But, I mean, they took care of Haaland. Dare I say the Haaland stopper. but I mean, yeah, bro, I think a lot of guys seemed like they had a lot to prove this game. And obviously, like you said, Poppy, it helps that the African guys came back because without Ahmad, without Mbeumo, I mean, those two guys with Bruno were the difference makers in the game. And Cunha, obviously. He was going to be one of my shout-outs, but his performance coming off the bench was great. I mean, 2 assists, damn near the same assists. I liked what I saw, man. This City side seems to be struggling, but I don't want to take away from, like you said, I mean, the assertiveness that we took in the first half. And after the first half was over, my biggest thing was, okay, second half, like, are we going to replicate this or are we just going to drop off as usual? And nah, I mean, like, we were damn near better in the second half. I mean, we were better in the second half. We scored the goals that we did, but yeah, man, it looks good, man. I mean, it's simple, and that's like my biggest thing with Amorim when he was here. It's you have this team, and you're stuck on playing this style of play, but the players that you have don't fit. What you're trying to do. That's not the profile of player that you need to play the system that you want to play, which is why I wanted him to go. Like you said, Mike, I mean, Carrick made it look easy. My biggest thing now is, how do you show up against Arsenal? Because I've seen this before. We've seen manager bounces before. This City team was struggling. I mean, they just brought in another center back, but I mean, I don't know. Like, it's hard. It's really hard for me to just say like, oh, City was just bad because we look so good. But this next game against Arsenal is going to tell me a lot. But what I will say is for Carrick, this is game 1 of 11 games that I'm going to hold out his judgment. Because after the 11th game is the international break. At that point, that should give you a clear indication of like, where are we? Like I said, before we started recording, Poppy, I told you guys we have 16 games left in the season. So, at that point, 9 of those 16 games, is enough time for you guys to make a decision. But overall, it was a good game. I was happy with the result. I mean, it puts us back into the top 4 race. If we can continue this under Carrick, I think we have a good shot of making top 4. And then that's my whole thing with Amorim, man. I said the quicker we can get rid of this guy, the quicker our season can start. And unfortunately, it's taken this long, but yeah, it's hard not to be optimistic after what you watched.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Now you're gonna be optimistic. Now you're gonna have expectations.
Yeah, but like I said, though, game two against Arsenal is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, they definitely have proved that this wasn't a fluke win, and that they can keep. Obviously.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think it's a good test. Arsenal is a good test to show that,
from home.
Yeah, Arsenal is a good test to show that, and honestly, it's really like at least you've seen that it's possible to play well. Like that's the thing. Like now we know that it's actually possible for Manchester United to actually play good and to beat a team that's as good, if not better than them. We've seen it happen now. So now you ask yourself, okay, what wasn't working right? What was going wrong? Like what was the problem? What have we done differently? So to me, it's a conversation that Carrick needs to have with his players. Like, what was Amorim doing with Shaw that you didn't like, that you would want me to change? Like, what do you think we've done against City that we should keep doing? Like this should be the conversation that they're having right now, because not just for the fans, but for the players themselves to know, oh man, we can actually play this well. We can actually do this. For them to like, we have to see, obviously, because was it Manu that played so well? Of course, the answer is yes. But was it also because City maybe didn't take the game seriously or whatever? We don't know. We will see against Arsenal how they show up, and like Salam said, it will be very interesting to see. Let's not forget, it's a World Cup year. It's a World Cup season. It will be very interesting to see what will happen after the break, the international break in March. I believe it will be in March. And then after that, it's gonna be crucial. But yeah, man, I can't wait for the Arsenal game for sure.
I wanted to say this before we move on to the next topic, but in our season preview, in our in-studio episode, Salam, I told you, this group of players are not that bad to me that top 4, top 5, even top 6 is not attainable. I think you're right there. And when we were having this conversation, Cornelius, Gabriel, everybody thought I was crazy. But I was like, I know for a fact the group of players you have and you've brought in, I mean, between 1 and 6, you should be somewhere right in there. And I think it's possible. I think you guys can do it. I think that is still possible for you guys. So hopefully, this game wasn't just a fluke game.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like you said, Papi, I mean, like the players have now shown that, they are capable of putting in performances like that. So now if you come out and you just kind of like roll over next game, it's, again, the whole narrative around these players kind of holds true. And like you guys said, it is a World Cup year. I mean, a lot of these guys, when you look at a lot of these guys on our team, I mean, they're fighting for a spot. Maguire's fighting for a spot. Luke Shaw's fighting for a spot. Mainu, damn near hasn't played all year. He wants to make an impression for Tuchel. Lissandro, you probably will go, but will you play? And I did want to say, though, too, he's gotten a lot of slack, the week going into the game. This was a center back that I think very highly of. And for him to come back from 2 serious injuries and play the way that he's been playing, you got to give it up to him. He was going to be one of my shout outs, but shout out Lissandro Martinez. I don't think Holland was effective at all. He got hooked. And it was what it was. And all these guys, Turkey said he wanted to kill Man United. And I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think of Maguire's performance, Salam? Because for years I've seen Man U fans call Maguire all types of crazy names, but he never you know, he never paid attention to it. He just kept playing for the team, man, and I respect him so much for that. And he played a great game the other day.
I agree. I agree. I'm at the point now
much more respect.
Absolutely. I'm at the point now where he's definitely one of the leaders on the team.
Yeah.
I thought he did a very good job of complimenting Lisandro. He's not fast, but you know the duels that he had to win in the air, he won against Holland for the most part. And I mean, he's solid, man. He was solid. The only spot on my team where I'm just kind of like, yo, what are you doing? Is just Delo. Like it just could have been a red card in the first half. I don't really want to dwell on it because he's had such a great performance, but he's the only person that I'm looking at and I'm like, dude, you just I don't know, man. You're playing for like against us. Like shout out to Benzema. But
yo, and for City, shout out Donnarumma because it could have gotten ugly. It actually
he was making some crazy saves. Yeah,
I was like, man.
Salam, when is the last time? Because I said what I said. As a Man U fan, when is the last time Man U has played a game this good, in your opinion, that you can recall?
From start to finish, I don't know, bro. I mean, they've given us like moments, right? Like the game last year versus Lyon, or like that was a crazy moment. Like,
well, I'm saying like given the level of the opposition, you know.
No, I mean, because we beat Liverpool this year, and I wouldn't even say that like we outplayed you guys. That game, you guys hit the post how many times, but from start to finish, no, bro. I can't remember the last time that we went into. I mean, aside from the times that we beat Chelsea, it's like I can't remember like the times where we've just dominated from start to finish. It's been a while, bro, and
it's been a long time, man.
It's been encouraging to see.
Praise.
But now speaking of Chelsea, man. And you know they beat Brentford on the weekend.
Brentford, yeah.
A pretty good Brentford side, by the way, too. Shout out to their striker. I forgot his name. I'm blanking. Igor Thiago.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be one of my questions for our in studio sessions, man. Like who's making a case for themselves to be on their national team? And Igor Thiago is making a strong case for him to be the number 9 for Brazil. And it sounds crazy. But Mike, what are your thoughts? They do. They certainly do. But Mike, what are your thoughts on the 2-0 win over Brentford?
The ugly game. It could have been more, to be honest. It could have been a 2-2 game easily. But it was an ugly one. But I love these type of games, man. I love the hard-fought games because it shows me that, you know, you guys can dig deep. Sanchez had a great game, but see, I'm tired of these up and down games. So I don't even want to feed too much into it. But I give credit when it's due. He had a great game. Overall, though, this gave me old Jose vintage win in the terms of, and I'm not comparing it in any way. We don't play very well offensively. We weren't doing a lot offensively. We were very solid defensively, but we end up somehow winning the game, you know, with a clean sheet. It was just an ugly win. Nobody really stood out to me necessarily. But we moved, with 3 points in a very crucial weekend where, United won. Luckily, Liverpool dropped points. City lost, Arsenal lost, dropped points. But yeah, it just allowed us to stay close to the competition. So I'm glad we were able to beat a Brentford side that was actually sitting above us on the table. Nothing to really write home about in this game. So we just moved with the 3 points, man. Defensively, we worked hard. But if I'm being honest with you, Brentford should have scored at least 2-3 goals. So I wasn't necessarily too excited. But like we said, we move.
Yeah, no, I agree. I what's funny is I watched Liam Rossinia's pre-game and post-game press conference, and you're right, he does speak very well. he's giving me the vibes of like someone that I want to be in charge. Obviously, over the course of the remainder of the season, we'll have a bigger sample size on who he is as a manager. But from all the things that he says in the press conferences, I mean, it sounds good. I also think
showed on the pitch.
Yeah, you guys got to get some guys back healthy. Obviously Cole Palmer, once he gets kicked on, you guys will be in a different space. But I think Chelsea is certainly still in it. And then I'm curious to see what you guys do in Europe as well too. Like I said, the thing about you guys is you guys are still in a lot of different competitions.
Yeah.
So you'll see who you're working with. But.
Yeah, and I mean, we go into a Champions League coming up, so we'll get to see how he does in that as well. But Arsenal's been the only team he's lost to so far, so
yeah,
let's just keep going.
Well said. Speaking of Arsenal dropped points versus Nottingham Forest. I think was it Yasser that said, the Forest ground just didn't have a good feeling.
I get shaking over there, man.
But
man, I'm shaking my head, bro.
I was watching that game. I was at the airport actually, and I was watching that game, and the whole first half, man, Arsenal were on them. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Martinelli missed a sitter, and then. I got off the plane and I saw it was 0-0, and I was like, And I wanted to pose this question to you, and I'm not trying to be like overreactionary or anything, but this is a genuine question. Because I look at this season's team, and I say to myself, on paper, this team is better than the team last year and the team before. But for whatever reason, they still seem like kind of vulnerable. And like
it's
just
Arsenal.
Well, yeah, but in all serious note, and when I say vulnerable, for them not to score against Nottingham Forest, this is a struggling side. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
You didn't concede, you didn't walk away from the game without a point, which ultimately is what what matters. It's still a 7-point gap, but I don't know, man. Like, are there any concerns here, for them dropping points against Forest? Because, like I said,
Absolutely.
I just feel like this team this year on paper is better than all the other teams. And I know there's this narrative of Premier League is so tough.
I think it's a very good observation. The 2 previous years, I think we would have, chalked it up to them needing, a gunsman, a striker, somebody leading the line. Unfortunately, Gyökeres haven't done it for them, and I think that's what it is. That's their weakest point, in my opinion. The fact that they cannot see Arsenal can score, but there are times where you're just like, these are like the Liverpool game. There are certain games that you just need to make statements if you're going to win. Yeah. If you're going to win the trophy, there are just some games that you would have to show yourself. On a weekend like this, where you had the opportunity to open the gap. Pappy spoke about this. He said, give it to March. If the gap is not wider, they probably won't win it. But I'm not saying that right now. This was an opportunity for them to open the gap, and they didn't. Yes, you added a 1-point gap. Hooray. It's still a gap. But if you want to win the Prem, these are things that you have to take care of. I don't think they've taken care of business at City Ground in the last couple of years. I know a couple of years ago, that was the game he played Thomas Partey at right back.
Yeah.
it was that game. So I don't know. Like you said, very good observation. I think they're still vulnerable, even though I think as of right now, at this point of the season, they've been one of the best teams. Gyökeres hasn't shown himself at all. And it's actually quite disappointing. And the options that most Arsenal fans are calling for now were the same guys they were telling me weren't good enough, and they needed to go buy a striker. The Kai Havertz and Jesus, now everybody wants to see play, were the same two you had last year, and you told me weren't good enough. So they're in a weird spot, but being on top of the table still gives you that confidence. So hey, but I wouldn't be confident if I was an Arsenal fan. I would be a little concerned about some of these points we've dropped these last few games.
You're being soft, Mike. Like if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be livid right now. I'd be livid. How the hell do you not win? Like how do you watch? How do you watch City drop points like that, and they played before you, and Man U beat them 3-0, and you play after them against 17th place team? How do you not win? How do you not capitalize on that? Like, how do you let that slide, bro? I don't get it. Like, do you want to win the trophy or not? Like, you've been failing every time. Clearly, you know that every point matters. Clearly, you've seen it time and time again. You've seen how every time you think you have enough points as a lead, it gets cut short, and at some point you lose. Man, this was like a gift. This was like, on a silver platter, City giving you 3 points to take, and you just said, "Nah, I'm just gonna take one." Like, that's crazy to me. There is no reason for Arsenal to not win this game. I could have understood if it was against a top 5, top 6 team, but it was Nottingham Forest, man. Like, you win the game. You win the game, you get the 3 points. Now you get 9 points. The other day, what did I tell you? I said, in my opinion, they need to have at least 9 points ahead around March. And City is not going to make these mistakes twice, bro. Like, they're not going to make these mistakes twice. Like, I know it's not a really good City side this year, but it's still Man City. They still have some really great players. They still coached by Pep Guardiola. They're going to bounce back. And you do not want to make these mistakes. You do not want to, leave any point, you like, in my opinion, they should grab as many points as possible. And this is something that can hurt you down the line. If somehow, some way, you get caught and you lose a title, you're going to think about the Nottingham Forest game. Oh, what if we won that game? Maybe we could have had 2 more points and maybe we would have won the title, So I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be really mad about this result, because history has shown you that you can't make mistakes like this. You've made mistakes like this, and you paid for those mistakes multiple times. This is the year where I'm not asking you to be perfect, but this is the year where you just handle your business. The games you have to win, you win them. And that's the only thing you can control. Win the games you have to win, and then let the rest unfold. But yeah, this was a bad result for them, in my opinion. Very, very bad result.
Point of, you've seen the mistakes you've made. You've seen the games you've dropped and how it's cost you later. I literally said this to our friend in our group chat, and he's like, "Well, we got 1 point. We're 7 points," and I'm like,
it's not enough.
You can think that. You've seen it year and year. You're at the top for a while. You drop points where you should be picking up points, and then in the end, you fall away. So
not to mention the Champions League is coming. Champions League is coming. The legs are gonna get heavy. Players are gonna get hurt. Like, you don't want to take any risk, man. Grab as many points as you can early on, because you don't know how. But when we hit February, March, April, you don't know how things are going to turn out. So yeah, I wouldn't take that risk.
Yeah, I mean, not the most ideal result for them, but I mean, they're still my pick to win the league. I just don't see them losing 3 more games this year. Just defensively, I still think that they're the best team in the league. I just like the biggest threat is just like City, and it's just like I don't look at City like the way I used to anymore. I used to look at them and be like, oh, they're
that's understandable.
Yeah, no, it's not even so much about forget our game, but even before our game, you know what I'm saying? Okay. It's just like you guys are capable of losing to anybody. You guys have shown that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think it's like I think it's more like so. Even though you don't see them losing games, it's not losing, but they can like draw a lot of games and drop 2 points in those draws while the other teams win and grab 2 points on them. You know, like Mike just said, the Arsenal fan he talked to, he told him the way he sees it is they got 1 point. The way I saw it, you lost 2 points. I guess it's a matter of perspective, but you know, the way I see it, you lost 2 points. And a draw means you drop points. So you don't want to make these results.
Yeah, I just don't look at their opponents and the two people like Aston Villa lost. Forget like even drawing, they lost. And it's just like
They did.
And I don't even really believe in them to really go like far in the league this year. But it'll be interesting to watch. But I just like you said, I think this could be a game where we look back and we look at as a missed opportunity. But before we do our Champions League preview, I did want to talk about Liverpool. You guys dropped points again, 1-1. You still are ahead of us on the table, but you dropped points. Yeah, man. Talk to me, man. Ekitike's back, right? So you should be feeling good.
Ekitike's back. Yeah, I feel good about that. I mean, he's back. Yes, that's an addition to the team, you know, improvement. But I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say. Like, that's also just like Arsenal. That's also a game that we shouldn't have lost. I mean, we shouldn't have not won. And the crazy part is, this is what I've been saying during the whole episodes that we've been doing. You never know with this team. It's one day they do something great and the next day they do something terrible. You just never know. Like, how do you have 11 shots on target and you have 1 goal? And your opponent has 1 shot on target and they have 1 goal. So like, efficiency is clearly the point. Efficiency is clearly the problem. Like, it's like you're looking for a formula that you can't find yet. It's like you're looking for an identity. Like, that's my problem with this Liverpool team. Like, we have the players, we have, you know, we have the aura, we have that, but we don't have the identity, in my opinion, this season. Like, and when you don't have an identity, you keep finding it. And when you keep finding it, results switch. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you draw. That's why you can beat Real Madrid in the Champions League and then lose another game against a smaller team, and then you draw Arsenal, and then you know, like, this is what happens. Like, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, anything can happen now with Liverpool. Until we find our identity, anything can happen. And I did expect us to win this game. I didn't think it would have been this difficult to score. We did score a goal, but it wasn't enough. But like you said, Ekitike is back. Florian Wirtz played well too. There were some good, you know, some positive things to take away from the game, but you know, overall, it was yet another disappointing match by Liverpool, and I really hope that we fix that as soon as possible, because you know, we're lucky that we're still in January, and we're lucky that, you know, other teams are dropping points as well, but we can't keep doing that. So yeah, disappointing game in my opinion for Liverpool.
You know, even though the result wasn't good, I think Florian is starting to kick on.
He is, yeah.
So I think that's good for you guys. You could at least look at that and, you know, say that, okay, it's starting to work. You know, it was a big transfer record fee for him, so that at least, you know, gives you guys something to look forward to, you know. And Salah's on his way. Hopefully, you know, when he comes back, he adds on to this team. But
forgot about that.
I actually forgot about that. You're right. Salah is coming. But hey, people are already talking crazy. I saw some today a post on Twitter. They're talking about, like, is Salah gonna change the momentum of Liverpool? Like, is he gonna Is he gonna like
What
disrupt?
momentum?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what?
Come on.
If anything, I think Salah wants to come back. I think he wants to get away from all the AFCON, disappointments and stuff. I think if I was him right now, I'd be eager to come back to Liverpool and focus on club football again. And I mean, he's shown in the AFCON that he still got it, so it should be a good thing that he comes back. And I think, with him being back, we should play better. We should play better. Florian is playing well, like you said. Ekitike is back, and Gakpo had a good game too. So, we should be good.
I think we'll see getting top 4 for sure. The quality is there. It's too much quality to not finish top 4. So yeah, I think all these points you guys are dropping is just going to make the top 4 race interesting at the end. So
it's going to be an interesting race. I like I said the other day, I just don't have expectations to win the title. Like that's out of the question.
That's fair.
For me, that's been out of the question like weeks ago. But in terms of finishing top 4, absolutely, I think we have the tools to do that, and it would be actually a failure if we don't do that, because that should be really, really something that we should
that's
be
fair.
able
Too
to
much quality.
we have the quality for that. Like,
all right. Well, that's our Premier League teams. Before we get into Champions League, I did want to quickly touch on Real Madrid real quick. So before their game this weekend, Vinícius was getting booed. I believe Bellingham was also getting booed as well too. Vinícius was seen visibly upset, like pregame, and then obviously that carried over into the game. Every time that he and Bellingham touched the ball, they were getting booed, jeered out, whatever the case may be. But what do you guys think is like going on with this whole Vinícius and Real Madrid situation? Because it just seems like there's just a lot of noise surrounding him, like the player and the team as well too. I know a lot of people are saying that like bruh's kind of responsible for Xabi Alonso's departure, and a lot of fans aren't happy with that. But what do y'all think is going on?
They're tired, man. They're tired.
They're tired.
Too much.
What do you mean?
Man. The fans are tired of all the.
Okay. I thought you meant the players. I thought you meant the players were tired.
I'm talking about the fans, man. We're tired of defending Vinny. Bro, this dude is not humble in any aspect of anything. And he's constantly the one that's always crying. Like, I just think the fans are tired. I side with the fans, unfortunately, about it. It's a little cruel to be, booing your own player, but like, bro, stop it with the antics. It's too much. Like, okay, let's just focus on football.
I'm happy that you're saying that, man.
Yeah, we were supporting you with the racism and all that. Like, for sure, it was justified. We got to support you. You're right. But other than that, dog, we're tired of all these like antics. I'm not. I love Real Madrid. It's not like the first team I support, but like, bruh, it's just like, come on. If I had a player like that on my team, I would want him gone. I posted this question to the guys about 2 months ago and on this pod that if he leaves Real Madrid, where's he going? Because I just get the vibe that people are just tired of him being there, because every Real Madrid game is something else. Xabi Alonso, we've watched football long enough to know that this guy doesn't get rattled. It never happens. He's gotten into with him multiple times before he left the job. Like, how is that even? It's like this is the most calmest, one of the most calmest football player we've seen, and somehow he still gets rattled with him, and it's just like it's too much. At least from my perspective, it's just too much.
I'm happy that Mike said this, because I personally don't like Vinícius. I don't like his attitude. I don't like how he complains and whines and plays victim all the time. I don't like the way he plays. but I respect him as a player. And if I speak negatively about him, people might think it's because I'm a Barca fan and that he's a Madrid player that I'm talking. That's why I'm talking like that. But there's a lot of Madrid players that I actually like, but I don't like him. But at least Mike is saying it, so I'm not crazy. Like he has a serious attitude problem. Like, and this has been going on for a long time. He's been like this. We've seen him get subbed out by Ancelotti, and he was literally yelling at him to his face and like arguing with him on the pitch just because he's subbing him. We've seen that happen. Now, who's a more respected or more decorated coach than Ancelotti? You're gonna tell me he doesn't know what he's doing, but he reacts like that. And what's happening with Real Madrid is simple. These are fans that are used to greatness all the time. They're used to winning. As much whether you like them or you hate them, Real Madrid is a winner's team. And what they're seeing right now is a lot of diva attitude and a lot of losing at the same time, and they don't like that, so they're gonna boo. Ronaldo's been through it. There was a time he was being booed by Madrid fans at some point. I don't know who it was. I believe Benzema was getting booed by Madrid players at some point.
Gareth Bale.
How did they respond? Yeah, how did they respond? They got stronger. They got better. They kept playing hard. That's why we're booing you. We're booing you as fans because we know you can do better. So show us that you can do better. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. I think, and I've been saying this for a while, the minute Fabrizio Romano tweeted the transfer of Mbappe to Madrid, I said, this is not going to work. It is going to be like a lot of locker room headbutting. There's going to be a lot of ego to manage, and it's just not going to work. I've said that multiple times. If you watch football, if you know Mbappe, he likes to play on the left side of the foot. Like he likes to play exactly where Vinícius likes to play. That's going to be. I knew that was going to be an issue from day one. So you got Mbappe who believes it's about time he wins a Ballon d'Or. You got Vinícius who believes he was robbed of a Ballon d'Or, even though that's not true. But he somehow believes that he was robbed of a Ballon d'Or and that he has to bounce back and win it. You have Jude Bellingham who has been labeled and marketed to us as the best midfielder or one of the best midfielders in the world, top 3 or whatever. And he plays for England, who has a great squad, and he believes that he should be winning a ball. So you have 3 players that have 2 of them have massive egos, and all 3 of them are trying to win a Ballon d'Or. Now, there's an issue about who's going to take the penalties. There's an issue about, who's going to play where. There's an issue about who's the leader, who's the best player on the team. And on top of that, the coach is not respected. A coach that is a legend of the club, a coach that won everything with the club, a coach that literally showed that he's a great coach with Leverkusen, prior to coming to Madrid, a coach that everybody wanted in Madrid, and that happens, he doesn't get listened to, he doesn't get respected, and I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be this soon, but I've seen it coming from a mile away, man, and it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better because, like, teams now, I feel like they're not really afraid of Real Madrid anymore. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, like, there was a time teams would play Real Madrid and it would be like some sort of, I wouldn't say fear, but like people would be like careful against them. But now I feel like that aura that they had, is gone. I mean, for God's sake, they lost to crazy game. Like they didn't even like you watch the game and you tell yourself, are the players even trying? And this is on the new coach's first game. You're doing that. Even yesterday, I watched some of the game yesterday. They had a penalty. Mbappe got a penalty. They got lucky for a couple of times, but even yesterday they struggled. So I don't think the problem is going to be solved any soon. And yeah, if this keeps going, it's going to be it could be a very ugly season for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to unpack with Real Madrid. I think, like you guys said, well, first off, I just think that there's a lot of the profile of player that they need, they don't have right now. Like they don't have that Toni Kroos. They don't have that like person in midfield, that Luka Modric, that who is like the maestro in there. Tchouaméni does a good job. You know, Jude Bellingham is more attack minded. He wants to be a part of the attack going forward. So to your point, Poppy, it's like when you have three guys that are kind of like, you know, offensively minded like that, in basketball terms, like they're like ball dominant. Like,
yeah,
it's hard for me. The person that's the odd man out is obviously Vinícius, and I like him as a player. I just don't think that he's the right fit because, like you said, we've seen it. Like he likes to play. He can play as a striker, but he does his damage out wide. Honestly, you're holding a guy's spot in Rodrigo that probably should be playing. Obviously,
I agree.
But you know, the whole thing with Xabi Alonso, I think he was brought in to give this team some structure. You know, I used to joke around all the time saying like this Real Madrid team's like not a real team. Like Carlo Ancelotti is just obviously they had their principles in place, but like they weren't. It wasn't like this is our game plan and this is what we're gonna do. It was just you guys go out there and just figure it out, like you guys always do. And you know, Alonso wanted to come in and you know bring some structure, and that unfortunately didn't work out because you know at Real Madrid the players run the show. But it's interesting, man, because and I don't really know what Arbeloa is going to do. I don't really know his manager acumen really. I don't know if he's even really managed a team. I could be wrong. Maybe he has, but you know, you're having a guy like that, you know, manage one of the biggest teams in the world. I mean, could he be sacked like in the middle of the season? Because like,
of course, they're not going to keep him long.
You're going to sack the interim.
It's Real Madrid. They're not going to keep him long. They're going to.
But like their season, bro, they're like 2 points behind, 3 points behind. I don't know if Barca won today or not, but like, if Barca won, they're still actually. Did Barca win today?
No.
So
we lost that, right?
Okay, lucky, so they're within 2 or 3 points of La Liga. They're still in, you know, Champions League, so you still have a season here you can salvage. But I think at the end of the season, there's going to be some major revamp that's going to have to happen, though. And unfortunately, I think it's going to come at the expense of some of these big time players. But moving to Champions League, match day 7 of 8. I'm going to start with the Tuesday's games. First day of match day 7, we have Carriat versus Club Brugge. Who do you guys have?
Bruges.
Seems like.
Right. I agree. Bodo Glimt versus Man City.
City.
Bodo Glimt is a really hard team to play, man. They're a really hard team to play. But yeah, I got City.
Yeah, City's away from home too, so I feel like this is where Holland usually beats up on the, you know, the teams. Villarreal versus Ajax.
Draw.
I'm going Villarreal, man. Villarreal has been a very bright. They've been a bright spot in La Liga, man. They're in top 4.
No, I'm saying Ajax. They haven't been strong.
Yeah, shout out Val Weghorst, man. Tottenham versus Dortmund.
Dortmund. Although Tottenham versus Dortmund games usually it's exciting games.
Yeah.
Usually bangs.
It's in London, so we'll see. Olympiacos versus Leverkusen.
Draw. Is it Olympiacos is at home?
Yeah.
I'd say a draw.
Okay. Sporting versus PSG. This is the battle of the Ugarte lineage.
PSG, yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna go PSG, man.
That Dembele goal yesterday was
you see that?
oh
Wow.
my God, what a beauty.
Yeah, shout out to Usman. Inter versus Arsenal. This is
It's a big one.
This is a good game.
That
This on
is a
zero?
good game.
Take the under, yeah. Arsenal's away from home.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd
I want
say
to
draw
go
too.
Inter. I want to go Inter, but Arsenal's shown some weird level of play in some of these big games recently. So,
Bro,
I'll go Arsenal actually in this game.
They got 17 goals for and 1 goal against in the Champions League.
Inter,
Arsenal.
yeah. They've been really good. Some of these games.
Yeah, clearly the best team. I'm gonna just go with Arsenal here. Real Madrid versus Monaco. Ooh.
Real Madrid.
Oh man, this has a lot.
Honestly, actually, this could be a tricky one.
Paul Pogba.
Even Real's current form.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Monaco isn't they've qualified last season to the Champions League, but they're not that good this season. So yeah, I think Madrid handles business.
I agree. Mbappe is going to score on his former team. Hopefully, my boy Paul Pogba, man, can get some. I haven't heard really too much about what's going on over there. Hopefully, he's playing
some Champions League minutes.
Just minutes in general, bro. I just haven't really heard from him.
Yeah.
Copenhagen versus Napoli.
Napoli. Napoli's been sliding a little bit, but I'll still go Napoli. Copenhagen can pull something out of the hat like they always do, but I saw their game against Barca. So
yeah, I'm gonna go Napoli, man.
I'd say Napoli too.
Shout out to Rasmus and them, man. Galatasaray versus Atletico Madrid on Wednesday.
It's another tricky game. Draw.
I'm going Atletico away from home too. Diego Simeone is not even worrying about scoring. What you think, Mike?
Which one?
Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid.
Galatasaray.
Okay. Karabag versus Eintracht Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
This year, but Frankfurt for sure.
Okay. Marseille versus Liverpool. Oh, this is in Marseille.
That's my two teams playing, man. Marseille, Liverpool. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Marseille.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Marseille.
Marseille is good, man.
I'm gonna go Marseille. That's my team, man.
Okay. Newcastle versus PSV. Newcastle dropped points this weekend, man. I don't know, man.
I would say draw that game.
It is at St. James, though. And for that reason only.
Newcastle, yeah. Champions League night at the St. James, yeah, it's going to be rocking.
Slavia Prague versus Barcelona.
Barcelona, easy.
Juventus versus Benfica.
Juve. Ooh, actually, yeah, Juve.
Okay. Benfica. Oh, that's. Yeah, I'll say Juve. Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea versus Paphos. Oh, this is wow. David Luiz returned back to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, this one is all awesome.
David Luiz is still playing?
Yeah, he plays for Paphos.
He's gonna.
I didn't know that.
He's gonna have a.
It just happened this summer.
I thought he retired, bro.
He's still kicking, man.
Chelsea should win this game easily.
It should, but the Chelsea, man, up the Chelsea, man. Bayern versus Union Saint-Gilloise.
Bayern.
Yeah, shout out to Union Saint-Gilloise. I think at this point, man, Bayern 2 could play and they still win. But Atalanta versus Athletic Club.
Atalanta.
Draw. I'd say draw.
I'm gonna go Atalanta, man. I think the Williams brothers are out. So
teams are like equal.
That's match day 7 of the Champions League.
How many matches is that? 16? That's a lot of games.
Yeah, something like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 9, 18.
Okay.
Locks of the week. We didn't do so hot, but it's all good. We've been making you guys money all year, so some weeks
have an off weekend.
Yeah, some weeks are just better than others. But before we get into predictions, do you guys want to do any shout outs?
I do.
Yeah, I got some.
You can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out to the greatest African player we've seen in the last years, the greatest Senegalese player ever, Sadio Mane, bro. He's done it all. I have expected him to start for Senegal in this AFCON. I said maybe he can be good. I never imagined he would have been the best player of the AFCON. I've never imagined he would be the MVP of this tournament, and he pulled that off. Carried Senegal once again to another trophy. Right before this AFCON, I had him very high in my African GOATs list. Right now, no debate, in my opinion, he is number 2. Only Eto'o is above him. Because Eto'o is still untouchable. Other than that, I don't see anybody that can argue with him after tonight on that spot. If he could have won the AFCON without playing this well, I would have still given the edge to Yaya Toure. But the fact that he just not only won the AFCON but won MVP and the way he did it, man. And Eto'o, even though Eto'o is above him, Eto'o has only 1 goal and assist more than him in AFCON. He's got a goal. He had 3 assists in this AFCON. He's played extremely well, and he's won everything with Liverpool. He's won everything in club football. He finished 2nd in the Ballon d'Or a couple of years ago, and now he has 2 AFCON trophies. And other than Eto'o, I think he is the 2nd greatest African player that we've ever seen. And as a Senegalese, we don't deserve him, man. He's changed Senegalese football in so many levels. So shout out to Sadio Mane, man.
All right, so my shout out will be to all the connections we're able to make in Philly this past week. It was a very good opportunity for us as a podcast, as a media brand, to make these connections. And I want to shout out my guys, us putting ourselves out there to make something out of, this podcast that we've been doing. So shout out to my guys, man. Salam, Cornelius, Gabriel, and even you, Poppy, man. I don't know if you've noticed, man, since we've been doing this AFCON thing with you, views been going up. People's been loving the content. So shout out to you as well, man, for joining us, man. We really appreciate, what you've done with us this last month. That would be my guys this week.
It's a pleasure, man.
Right on. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, give shout out to Cornelius, Gabriel, the man, them definitely. My shout out this week is going to go to Michael Carrick, man. Your first game in charge, for you to put on the performance that you did, for you to set up the team, and I don't know what you said to them, but man, it worked. This was the best United performance I've seen in a while. From start to finish, we were the better team, man, and this was. Just 2 weeks ago, we were looking at this team and thinking, like, what is going on? But in a short amount of time, he was able to turn it around. And on the players' side, I mean, Bruno Fernandes, great performance by him. Obviously, Ahmad and Mbuemo. But I did also want to shout out Mateus Cunha as well, too, man. Wow. 2 assists off the bench. Well, one of them was called back, but he's been getting a lot of stick this season. hasn't really, I guess, from a goals and assists point of view, hasn't really put up the numbers that people were expecting, considering how much he costs. But I think that he was damn near flawless when he came on. So yeah, happy to see the guys kick on, and we'll see what we can do against Arsenal. But for predictions, I'll start since I just ended off. This game against Arsenal is going to be huge. Obviously, Carrick got the job done. The guys got the job done versus City. In my opinion, a struggling City side. But this game versus Arsenal is really going to tell me a lot. Obviously, you were going to it was expected you were going to have that manager bounce after Carrick was brought in. But this is a good test for us. Away from home at the Emirates, this is the best team in the league. I mean, let's see what we can do. This is really going to give me an indication of where the manager is, where the players are. And I don't know. Arsenal's been drawn, so I'm going to go with a draw here. I'm going to say 2-2. 2-2 draw versus Arsenal.
We see Paphos and then Crystal Palace. This should be a week where we can finally start to feel like ourselves again. But this season has been an odd one. I know we should win the game against Paphos. I hope we take care of business, 2-0 clean sheet, and then head into Palace. Palace has been very vulnerable this year, especially now with Gahey gone as well, and then Glasner announcing that he's leaving at the end of the season. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win at Crystal Palace. So I'm expecting 3 points in both our games this week.
Nice. For me, I said earlier regarding the game against Marseille for the Champions League, I think we would probably lose that game. It's in Marseille. Marseille is playing very well. They have some nice players. They have momentum right now. I think Marseille wins that game, but then we play Bournemouth next in the Premier League, and I think we win that one. So I don't know if Salah is going to be back for the Marseille game. I'm not sure, but he definitely should play for the Bournemouth game. But yeah, I think we lose, or at best we can have a draw against Marseille. But I don't see us winning that game. But then against Bournemouth, I think we win that game. But I'm most excited about the Arsenal Man U game. That's going to be that might be the best game of the season. Well, one of the best games of the season, because Man U is coming to prove something, and Arsenal just dropped 2 points, and they don't want to drop points again. So it should be really, really good.
No, I agree. I did want to bring up though, real quick, Mike, just because you brought up Oliver Glasner. Glasner. No, I did. In all seriousness, I did want to bring up, because you brought up Oliver Glasner and how he's leaving. That's an interesting situation, man. This was a guy who won the FA Cup last year. This was a guy who overachieved a lot. Great start to the season. I mean, obviously they lost their best player going into the season. And then they lost Mark Gahey, one of the best center backs in the league. You're captain. Right before a game, and obviously, like,
the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and he came out and said, like, I mean, it's tough, when you sell your captain, the day before a game, and like, we're trying to build something here, and I kind of feel for him, man. The only person that you brought in was Brendan Aronson from Tottenham, and I don't know, man. I really felt for him, because I just felt like he had such a great, I would say damn near 18 months up until this point. And now, due to whatever, the business side of the game, like, he's leaving. And it's just really sad, because I thought he was one of the bright managers, in the league. And now all of a sudden it's just kind of like, I'm just leaving this project because you guys are selling my best players, like, left and right at crucial moments of the season. So shout out to OG, man.
For me, I like seeing that coaches taking their own destiny into their hands, because when he got there, they almost wanted him out. He steadied the ship and really gave them some of the best times of their lives. FA Cup trophy. Didn't they win the Community Shield, if I'm not mistaken? Did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. So for a coach to take his destiny into his own hands and be like, from what I've heard, he's not been happy about these players being sold. They sold Hudson Edward. They sold Ayu. They sold Eze. Now Gayhe's gone. I mean, you're literally tying my hands. How am I supposed to win games? How am I supposed to get results? You're expecting me to do all these things to give you the same results I've been giving you, yet any chance of an opportunity of one of my players just doing well, you're like, oh, let me cash in on them. Yeah,
that's messed up.
I don't like it, but I'm happy for him taking his destiny into his own hands, because if the clubs don't want you, they're gonna fire you. So hey, if you don't like what they're doing and your contract is coming to the end, move on.
So, Poppy, thank you, man. The culmination of a great tournament, man. AFCON was really fun. We'll see when the next one's going to be held. Hopefully, it's in Morocco, because they were great hosts. If we can say anything, they were great hosts. If we could just use your guys' facilities every year, it'd be great. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you guys' continued support. Thank you for kicking it with us on the Kickback.
Appreciate it.